Hello and welcome back. This is video number 6. This is going to be a fairly short video, but what I want to do right now is just to show you the different apps that are available to you, which you can use to automate your whole social media presence. So these apps will allow you to implement what we just created in the previous mind map. So we're going to talk about some paid tools first. We're going to talk about 2 of them, and then we'll talk about a free tool that doesn't cost any money. Okay, so the first one is Zapier. That's Zapier.com, just as you can see here with this logo. So Zapier.com, and this site, it's a little more expensive, but it contains thousands of apps. So the possibilities of connecting all sorts of social media platforms, blog platforms, and future platforms in the future, it just makes it possible for you to scale. All right, so with Zapier, if you scroll down, you can kind of get an idea where you can integrate different apps. So you can integrate, Gmail, Dropbox, Slack, and all that. But we are mainly interested in the social media platforms. So if you click on apps right here, and let's just search for, all right, let's look at here. So we want to upload from Pinterest to Instagram. So type in Pinterest right here. And this allows us to see the different recipes that are available. So recipes are basically—
Hello and congratulations on getting access to this video course on
So if you think about a recipe
video
as when you create
a
dish, a food dish,
what I want
like
to
a
do
cake,
now is just to give you
it requires
a
you to
very
have
quick
certain
bird's-eye
elements.
view of
So what this
is
allows you to
inside
do
this
is
video course.
recipes are
So, video
pre-created
number 1 is
for
obviously
you.
this video.
Now you can create
And
your
we're
own
gonna talk about
recipes if you
what
want
you
to.
need
So
in
if
order
we
to
scroll
get
down
started.
here,
Video number
it
2,
says
we'll talk
triggers,
about social media
we create a new
platforms.
board, a new pin. So
even
new
though this
pin
might
will
sound a
be
little
what we
basic,
want to do.
A lot
so
of people have
whenever you create a new
created
pin,
so many different social media accounts.
it has
that
actions.
Some
Create a new pin.
will be relevant, and of course, some will be irrelevant.
And then let's
now,
see here. So
the
connect
only way that you're
Pinterest
going
to
to know
2000
is to
apps. So
understand
we can
which
connect
platform
this app
is
with,
for
let's
what
say,
reason.
Facebook.
And it'll make more sense in just a minute. Now, once
So
you
we
have
got
a
Facebook
better
pages.
understanding of the
So
different social
now
media
it shows us
platforms,
all the
we can
recipes
move
that are
on to
available.
video number
So
3
it says,
and talk about which
see,
platform
share
is best
Facebook page
for your
posts
niche.
on
So
Pinterest. So that would be
you
the
will realize
opposite.
in
But
just
this
a second
one
that
would
some
be
social
what we
media
want. So share
platforms
Pinterest
don't really make
pins
sense
on
for your
Facebook
customers to go
page
to.
posts.
Whereas
So all
some
you would
other
need to
ones
do
will
is connect your
really
Pinterest
be relevant
app, connect
to
your
your
Facebook
prospects,
account,
and are places
and
that
use
your
this
prospects
recipe. And
naturally
you will
want to
already
hang out.
will have
So you're gonna want to
implemented
focus
Pinterest
on
to Facebook. So
those
you would have
social
finished
media platforms.
this
So what we're
line
trying
here.
to do here
So if we want to
is
go
to
from
help
Pinterest to
you gauge
Instagram,
where
we
to
can
best
check to see if
spend your
that's
time.
available as
So
well.
that way you
So
don't
let's
waste
just
time.
type in
You
Instagram.
spend it on what is actually going to make you profits. So video number 4,
And
we'll
see
take
what's
all
available.
that information
So we can
and
see
show you how to
you can
customize
pin your
game
new
plan.
Instagram
Once you
post
customized
to
it,
Pinterest.
then in video number
So
5,
this is
we'll talk
quite
about
the
how you
opposite.
can map it
So
out.
we need to figure out
So
if
what we're
it's
gonna do in that
possible
video is
to
to
do it the other way
visualize by
around. So what you would
mapping
do
it
is you
out
create
so
an
that you can
account
see,
and you would simply
what you need to
have the
do in
trigger
order to
being
automate the process.
you pin a post.
So
once you pin a post,
in order to figure out
then the
how to
action would
do
be
automation,
pin
you
it
need
to
to
Instagram or
have
post
a
that
map.
content
So
to
imagine
Instagram.
trying to get to
So
a
hopefully you get a better
destination
idea
without a map,
of
without a
what it can
GPS,
do for you,
and you're just
that's
told to
Zapier.
go here.
The next
So
automation
you're
tool
probably gonna
is
spend
called
more
automate.io.
time trying to find that
So
location,
automate.io
right?
is the website.
But if
so
you have a
type
map
that into the
and
URL
the GPS
address
device
at
tells
the
you
top,
exactly
you'll
where
get
to go
this page.
and the shortest
so
route to
automate
go
is
and the
very
fastest
similar to
route to go,
Zapier, but I
then
will say
that's
that
going to
they don't
save you
have
time,
as many
right? So that's
app
why
integrations
we're going to go through
as
this
Zapier, but they're
specific
growing. They're
step-by-step
getting to that
process. And
point
that's why we've laid
where
it out
they will
in
be
this
able to
way,
compete
save you
head to
time,
head.
to save
Now, in
you
terms of
money,
customer
and help you
support, I will say
And of course, last
automate.io
but not
is
least,
phenomenal.
Once you have mapped
If
it
you
out,
email them
we're going to
or
talk
create
about
a support
automation
ticket,
apps.
a lot of
There are
times you will
many
hear
different
back
apps
within
out
minutes.
there
And
that
we say
will
that
allow
because we've
you
actually
to
tested them out.
automate
So
your
if we
social
go
media
here,
presence. So for
very,
example,
very similar.
You could say something
You've
like,
got trigger,
if you
you've got action.
posted
Now, the thing about
something like an
automate
image,
is some of their
content
more
to
advanced
Facebook,
pricing plans
you could create
have what we call
that
complex
would copy
workflows.
that information to
so
your
instead
Twitter,
of creating
to
a
your
separate
Instagram,
recipe
and
for
to
every
other
single
social
thing,
media
you
platforms
can
as well.
simply
So that way,
create
instead
a
of
map,
manually having
like
to
this.
go from Facebook,
Now, in terms of the
copy and paste,
differences,
log
the
into
differences
Instagram,
are
copy and
that, like I
paste,
said,
go
Zapier
into
has
WordPress,
more apps,
copy and paste,
but
you
their
set
pricing
everything
plan
up
is a little bit
once,
higher.
and
So if you're on a
everything else
budget,
after that
it
point
may
will
not be
automated.
as
So
ideal.
we'll talk
for
about
you.
that. We'll talk about
So
free tools
when you
that are out
begin
there,
to kind of
and we'll talk
compare
about paid tools.
apples to apples,
And of course,
you'll see
video number
that
7, which
okay,
is going to be
so
the
there's
last
always a
video,
free
we'll be
plan,
talking
but the
about
free
how
plan
to
can only do
automate
so much.
the
So
whole process
in this case,
using
actions per
free
month
apps
equals 250.
that we discuss.
That means
in
that
video
if you
number 6.
upload to
So
Pinterest
this is
and
absolutely
then that
free.
uploads
You don't
to
have to pay
Facebook,
any money.
that is
and
considered
it's just
one
as
action.
good of a
Over
quality
here,
compared
it says
to
you get
a lot
5
of the paid
zaps
apps out there
and
now,
100 tasks
different
per month. So
variations.
tasks
little
are very similar
differences
to actions.
between them, which
Same
you'll see
word,
in just a minute in those videos.
it's just the same thing.
But for the most
so
part,
in this
it can
case, you
do
only get
the
100.
job
So
really well.
that just means,
okay, so
let's say you
talk
upload a
about
piece of
what you
content,
need.
and
So
each
we
content
talked
that you
about
upload,
that you need to
let's
figure
say
out
we
which
look over
social
here,
media platform
so that's
your customers hang out
1,
most.
2,
So
3, 4.
we won't
so
only just
Pinterest
discuss
alone
different
has
social media
4
platforms,
tasks
but we'll
or
discuss
actions,
how you
and
can
then
figure
of
that
course
out by
you have all these other
analyzing
lines
your
here. So
competition.
1,
So
2, 3,
instead of trying to
4,
reinvent the
5,
wheel,
6, 7,
you are
8.
simply
So we have 8
figuring
total
out
every
from
time
the
we upload.
standpoint of
So if you
what
only
is working
upload
for your
maybe
competition already,
2 pieces of
who
content
have
or even 3,
most likely
that
already
might be ideal.
paved
But
the
if you
way.
upload
So you're
10
based on that,
pieces of
you can
content
figure out
or
where your
like
customers
20
are
pieces of
hanging
content,
out.
that might
Make
not
sense?
be for you.
Okay, so
if that's the
why?
case,
The purpose
I will say
is so you
there
don't
is
waste
a
time
third
and
option,
you achieve
which
the
is called
most conversions.
IFTTT.
And what is going to be,
IFTTT
we're going to take all that
is free,
information,
but
and
it's
your
just
idea
as
and
powerful
map it out
as these two.
using a
In
mind
terms
map
of
chart. There are
the
many different
top
mind
social
map
media
softwares out
platforms,
there,
I
but
would say
we
that
recommend that
you
use
can easily just use
lucidchart.com as one of the good options,
IFTTT
and
for
we will
free
use that
and do it this
in
way.
this
The only
video
reason
course.
why you would
So
probably
you'll
use
get to have an
Zapier
idea of
or
how that
Automate
works.
is if you want to begin to
But last
integrate
but not
it
least, we
into
have the
a lot
how,
more
which
apps.
is this course.
So that's
Right?
really
So
the main
let's move
difference
on
here.
to video
So
number 2.
now, in this case, hello and
we
welcome
are gonna
back.
be using
This is
IFTTT,
video number 2, simply because
and
it's free.
now
and
we're going to talk
there's
about
a lot
the
of
basics
recipes
of the
inside,
different social
as
media
you'll see.
platforms that
All
are
right?
out there.
So with that
and
said,
the
let's move
different
on to the
reasons
next video.
why people
Hello
use
and
them.
welcome back. This
So
is the
knowing
last
the
video
reasons why
of this
people
course.
use certain
And setting
social media
up
platforms
your
is
IFTTT
crucial,
account,
because
it's
then
very
you
similar
will
to what I
understand
showed you
during
with
the
Zapier.
day
It
what
really
your prospects
consists of
are
just
actually
2 steps.
using.
Step
So
number
we have
1 is to connect the
Facebook.com
services
here,
that you're going to be using.
and Facebook.com
and step
is
number
a place
2,
where people
connect
go
those
to
services.
chat. Now,
So
you can use
let's start with,
Facebook.com
say,
as
Pinterest.
a means
So
to
when you log in, you can
host
either use your
groups
for
for
your
your
niche,
account, or your
you
Google
can have
account,
a
Facebook fan
or
page,
your Facebook account,
and it's really a
or you can
place where
simply
people
create
go
a custom
to
account.
socialize.
So under the
and
search bar,
create
you're going to type in
relationships.
something like
So
Pinterest.
it's not only
Now,
just a
if you
place
haven't
where
connected
they find
it
friends
already,
but it's also a place where they
it's going to be
develop
under the services.
relationships.
So connections.
So that's
and
really what
services.
Facebook
So
is all
connections
about.
Are basically
so
the recipes,
bear that in
and
mind.
the
that
services
you can use a Facebook group
are the actual
if you
platforms.
use a Facebook fan page.
So in this case, we have
then
Pinterest.
You will
And
need
what you want to do
not
is
only
you
to
want to
automate
connect,
the whole process,
and it'll
but
simply
you will
connect
need
to your Pinterest
have either
account.
someone or at least
So
check
once you
a
click
day
that,
and
you're going to see
respond
this
to
screen.
people.
It's going to ask
on
you to
the
log
platform.
in. You log in.
Whereas
with your Pinterest
some
account.
other platforms,
you basically
as you'll
allow
notice
it and give it
soon,
permissions
that you
to
won't
create
really need
boards,
to
save
do that.
pins for you.
So
access
even
your
if you're
followers and
marketing
follows, access
something
your public
that
info.
is
So this
unrelated
basically
to
tells it,
maybe what
hey,
your friends are
you
interested
have
in,
permission
it can
to
work.
log into your
because
Pinterest
people
account
are there
and
to build
post
relationships.
content. So we're going to
So
click
if
OK.
you're selling something related to,
And there we
say,
go. So we
B2B,
have connected
as long as the
successfully
demographic
to Pinterest,
is located
and
on
all you
that
need to do
site,
is simply connect
and the
to
focus
the same
is
YouTube,
to build relationships.
Instagram,
Then
Facebook,
this is the
Twitter,
way to go.
and blog.
Now, you might think,
So
well,
you do the same.
100%
You go
of
to
different markets
let's
should
say,
be
for
on
example,
social media
Pinterest
like Facebook,
to Instagram,
but
So we
that
got
might
Pinterest
not
to
be the
Instagram,
case.
Pinterest to Twitter,
So
Pinterest
different
to Facebook,
niches,
and
some
Pinterest to
people
blog.
will be
So
on Pinterest.
you can
more
go
than
ahead and do
others.
these. Let's say
Or some people will be on
we'll
Facebook
more than others.
Pinterest.
So
to
in the next video,
Twitter.
we'll discuss how to
we'll
figure
type
all that
in
out.
So just moving through here, the next step,
in other words, don't set up your recipes.
So you'll find that a lot of people tend to go on their Facebook services
in the morning. We scroll
YouTube,
down,
on the other hand, is
Twitter,
a place where
Buffer,
people go
so we
to
just
either
want
get
Twitter,
entertained, like instead of
then we'll
watching
click
TV,
connect.
they'll watch YouTube. And that's something that you'll notice.
And I went through the process,
dependent on the generation.
Authorized,
So
all that,
different generations
connected
not
my
to
Twitter account.
generalize.
So
or anything,
now that we have
but
Pinterest
different
and Twitter
generations, some
connected,
will pay more
now
attention
what I want to
to
do
TV,
is just show you
whereas
the
some will
simplicity
pay
of how
attention
to
YouTube.
connect the two.
So, for example, millennials and
So
Generation Z,
now what we can
which
do is
the
if you go
generation
under your
that come
account,
after
you
the
click on My
millennials,
Services, you
they
get this
tend
page.
to
So remember,
spend
we only had date and
majority
time,
of their
email
time,
digest,
92
Facebook
plus
pages,
percent
and
on
now
YouTube.
we have Pinterest.
So they
and
come
we have
here
Twitter.
not
So I'm
really
gonna click
to
on
build
Pinterest.
relationships, and yeah, they can
And
build relationships.
now we
but
can
for the most
create
part,
recipes.
they're really
So
here to
we can
watch
see here it's a
the
connect
video,
to Pinterest,
to learn
and
how to
post
do
to
something,
Facebook pages,
something like DIY, do it
let's
yourself
scroll down a bit.
niches. Either to do that, to be entertained, and
So
the
these
relationship that
essentially
they're building
can be
is really
triggers
to you,
and actions.
who is the person.
Okay, so
talking
up at the
in
top,
video.
when you click on your
So
account,
their goal here
you
is
will
not really
see
to build
a
relationships
option to
with
create.
each other.
So
and that might
when you
happen
click
along the way.
account,
But
create,
as you can
you're gonna
see
get this
here,
page.
it's really
Now,
about listening.
the reason why it's called
directly to the authority.
IFTT
So
is because
where
it
you
stands
might
for
think,
if
okay,
this,
I have a
then
DIY
that.
niche.
So
I'm
if we refer
primarily
back
gonna
to
use
the
YouTube
analogy
to show
that I
people
gave you
how,
with the
but
bucket
on
of water,
Facebook, I'm
I
going
said
to be
if
able to build
I
a
kick
relationship
the bucket of
with
water,
them, right? Hopefully that
which
makes
is
sense.
this.
Next
If
up, we have
this,
Instagram.
then the bucket
Instagram
of
is
water spills
primarily
over.
used
So
as a
it's kind of like a
platform where
cause and
people
effect.
will
So
follow
what we need to do
their
here is
celebrities,
which
the
is going to be
people that
Pinterest.
they
We click this
really
here,
look up to, and they want to learn
and we look for
what is happening
Pinterest.
from the day to day.
So
So
we're
what is
gonna click
happening
this
during
here.
their life. So
And
Instagram
you can see
in a
that
certain
there are
respect
two triggers.
is a place
One trigger
where
is
people
you
can
like
get
a
to
pin
know you
or
as an
new
authority
pin on
in
your
a
board.
deeper way.
Now
So what
bear
is
in mind
happening
that
during your day,
new pin on your board is
little
not
things like, oh, I
going
want to
to
drink
post
coffee or
the
do this
previous
or do
content.
that.
So
It's
if you
really a
have content
relationship.
from a
It's
month
a
ago,
deeper relationship.
it's not going to
Whereas
post that onto
YouTube
Twitter.
is
It's
more
only
of
going
a
to post
how-to
content
platform.
from here on
Instagram
out.
is more
Now,
of a
there's a little trick.
one-on-one
If you want to
relationship
post
building.
content that you posted
Whereas
last
Facebook,
week,
they can
before
get
you
to
set
know
up
each
this
other.
automation,
So
you
within
can
your
use something
community,
like you like
that's
a
what
pin.
Facebook
So
would be used for.
if you say you like a
Instagram,
pin,
on the other hand,
and then it gets
they're
posted
really
to
just
Twitter,
there
you can then
to
go back
follow
to the
you
previous content
as
and simply
in
like
their eyes the
those
celebrity.
pins.
So what is
And
going
that
on in your day
will trigger to
if
your
you're
Twitter
running a
account.
business,
So by
what
this
are
point, you
things
would
that
have to
you run
create
into
two
during your
different
business or
recipes.
what are
essentially.
promotions that
But by
you
default,
have
for the
going
most of
on
you,
right
you're just
now,
going to do new
and
pin
so
on your
forth.
board. So you're going to
So
click this
that's
here.
what Instagram
Then
is.
you
There
would
are
pick
many
a board,
other uses, but
and
that's
you would
pretty
click
much the
create
general
trigger.
view.
So any board,
And then of course
doesn't
we
matter,
have
or
Reddit.
you can be specific.
Reddit, on the
and
other
say
hand,
that
is
I
a
only
place
want
where people
anything that's
find
posted
out
to a very
about
specific
news.
board
Now, it's
to be posted
it's also
to Twitter or
kind
to
of
be posted to a
forum
specific
/
site.
discussion board type feel.
Okay, so we set
people
it up
can get
to say
know each other,
if
but actually,
we post to
for the
any
most
board,
part,
then
they find
this
out
is going to happen.
information.
So what's going to happen?
This could be
So we
a
click the
place
plus
to post
sign on
the latest
this,
information,
that,
to have a discussion board to discuss
and then we
things
simply choose
that
the
need to
server.
be discussed.
So remember,
now,
we go
bear in
from
mind that
Pinterest
Reddit
to
is
Twitter.
for the most
So
part
it's like
public
that here,
so it's not like a
and
Facebook
we can
group
post
where you
a
can
tweet.
hide
So
information.
remember,
so everything is out in the
Pinterest,
open,
however,
and it's
we are
public.
dealing with
so
images.
think
So
sort
you want
of
to
a
post
discussion
a tweet
board /
with image.
forum
So we're going
style.
to select that here.
So that's what Reddit would
and
be.
this is basically how.
And then
it's
of course
going
we
to
have
appear
Pinterest.
as a
Pinterest
tweet.
is
So
a
it says
site
just pinned
where you would go
board.
to
So
post
the board is
images
going to be the name of your board in
and
Pinterest.
videos.
The description
So the
of
demographic
whatever
and the type
you
of
have
people that go to
pinned
Pinterest are
and the pin
usually
URL.
DIY type
So
people.
you
People
could
who
even customize
are
this
looking
by
at
saying,
an item
hey,
on how-to items, and they want to
I
learn
just
how to do
posted
something. Or they're just
to
very
the
visual type
board,
people,
which
and
is going to be
a
the
lot
board.
of times they're
So you can
artists
say,
or
post it to the
people
board.
that like
So if the board is
graphics
called,
or
like,
images or
painting,
very visual
then you can
people
say I just
in
posted
that
to the
sense.
painting.
So this would
board.
be great for companies that have
Check it out
more
here.
visual aspects.
Now, bear in
of
mind
their
that you don't want to
business.
add too
So,
much, because
could be artists,
if the description
could be,
or the pin
anything
URL
related
is
to
long,
images,
remember the
essentially.
tweet.
But if your
text
business
is,
and your
very
market
short, so
isn't
you might want to
really
just say,
into
hey,
images,
just
they're
posted,
more into like data
and then
and
maybe
text and all that.
have it
There might
here.
not be a reason to be on Pinterest. Yes, you could get
So
some
how
traffic,
it was,
but for
you
the
know, by
most
default,
part, you would be attracting
that might be the best way
a
to
different
do it.
audience.
And
so
of
that's why
course,
it's
image
crucial
URL,
to figure out
you can
where
add
your audience is
the
actually hanging
ingredients.
out.
So,
And then, of course, we have Twitter.
basically,
Twitter
these
is
are
a place where
things that you
people
can
go
add. So
to
we
have
have
essentially
description,
micro
we have
conversations.
source URL.
So
most likely
Twitter's
will
been
be source
around
URL,
for
and you
many
create an
years,
action.
since the beginning of
Okay, so once
time.
that is done,
and
we
Twitter
are
allows you to
finished.
follow
So
and
now
find out
your
news.
applet
So
is
it's kind of similar
good
to
to go.
Instagram
So all you have to
in
do
that
now is
sense
click
where
on finish.
you can follow your celebrities, you can follow,
and that is
the
it.
brands
So now
that you
we have
enjoy
finished
following
from
and finding
Pinterest
out what is
to
actually
Twitter.
happening. So the
So
difference
from
between this and Instagram,
this line
is
here
Instagram is
actually,
more on a
this
personal
line
level
here.
in a relationship
So
building type.
you might want to create a
feel,
system and say,
whereas
okay,
Twitter a
anything
lot of
that
times
has been
is really just to
completed,
follow what's
I'm going
happening,
to
what
turn
the
it
news,
into
updates,
a specific color.
like what's coming
You
out.
want to make sure
in
that
business
color that you choose
and all that
is something that
and
you
of course,
don't
next
have
up
at
we have
all already.
LinkedIn,
So maybe
which,
a
as you know,
light
LinkedIn is
gray
like
color,
Facebook in a sense,
like that. So I
it's
can
a social
see
media
it
platform,
very
It's
vaguely,
a
but
community
not
type
too-
platform, but it's
not too dark, maybe
primarily
something like
for
this.
the
So we can see it, but we can
business
see that
or
it has been
professional
completed.
type
So
community. So
this is
rather
why we
than
have the
people
visual
coming
map, so we
here
can refer
just
back
to be
to it.
friends,
So we can say, okay,
people
we
are here
completed
because
this.
they want to
The
know
next
what's
thing to
going
do is
on
create
in
an applet
terms
for
of
Pinterest
work
to
related.
Facebook.
Like
Once
your
we're done with
careers,
that, we can
people go
simply
here to
turn
find
that
people,
into gray,
maybe to hire,
and we can
or
see what's
to
left.
buy, to
Pinterest
sell. So
to
this is a place where you can
blog.
go
Once we
where
set
your
that
customers
up,
can
we
be,
can turn
and
that
they're
to
looking
gray.
to buy. They're looking to connect for
And we can see what's
a
left.
business, for work.
This is the reason why we have the visual map, because
Whereas
a lot
if
of
you
times
were to
most
do this
people
on
quit,
Facebook,
75%,
then the people
through,
on
and all they have to
people
do
are
is
on
finish that
Facebook,
25%.
they're going to be
so this is going to
kind of
help you
thrown off.
and
So
catapult you.
that's why
and
you have to
move you forward.
keep in mind
to
the state of
100%
mind that people
and the
are
finish
in
line.
when they arrive.
So
to
I
that
hope you
social
enjoyed
media
this video, of
platform.
course, as
So
much as
those
I
are
enjoyed
the
teaching
general
you.
social media
And
platforms.
make sure that
there
you
are many
follow
more,
the steps,
but for the
step by
most part,
step,
those
and
are
as you can see,
the top
this
ones
is the end result.
that you need to